Namaste. Welcome to yet another fabulous episode of Special Moments with Stevie. I'm your most gracious host today, Sahana Kapoor Srinivasan, also known as the Great Yogini, the number one yogini in the entire world. Doctor of Meditative Studies of the Southern University of Northern Ohio, Doctor of Spiritual Enlightenment at the Northern California Institute of Zen Spiritualism, and also the proud beholder of a license to practice psychic behavior in the states of Idaho and New Mexico, as well as Luxembourg and Belgium. Ignore the typo. Unfortunately, Stevie D experienced a terrible chainsaw accident, which has left him disposed and partially dismembered. For today's show, I was told the doctors do believe that he will be able to reattach most of his limbs, and he should make a significant yet unremarkable journey. I can only hope he also attains enlightenment through this journey. Regardless of this less significant information, it is my honor and duty to present this evening's festivities with several of my distinguished psychic colleagues who will bless you with their knowledge, spiritualism, and harmonize us with the impeccable balance of the inner chakras. Before I commence our discussion, I would like to introduce our expert psychics who will enlighten us with their devotion to inner peace and tranquility. Coming up first, please welcome Professor of Psychiatry and Department Co-Chair of the Psychic Studies Department at the University of Eastern Quebec, Miss CCD. Not Cafe Coffee Day, but Claudette Germaine Dupuis.
Oui, oui, thank you. Merci for that lovely introduction. I did have to learn English to get that psychiatry degree, but my real talent lies in my ability to read tea leaves. And I learned that psychic capability from my great aunt, who was a Micmac Indian, who married my great uncle, who was an Acadian fisherman. I can sense things. I sense that you're not pregnant, for example. I can sense when men are cheaters. All these talents were passed to me, and I can also read tea leaves.
Such a beautiful message from beautiful Miss CCD. Thank you for confirming I'm not pregnant. Moving on. Next, my next expert psychic, all the way from Knoxville, Tennessee, via Acapulco, Mexico, and Brookline, Massachusetts, Miss GDG. Again, not Google developer groups, but Ginger Del Griego. Gigi.
Hello, thank you for having me. I only dream of 20% of things that I know, but I speak on the other 80%, having traveled the world about the East Coast and the South Coast. I can assuredly say that everyone at one point in time has thought the same things. Do they know I farted? And how can I make them think the dog did it? To those out there wondering those very things right now, I can answer definitively, yes, we can smell it. And no, don't embarrass yourself. We know it was not the dog.
Thank you, Gigi, for embarrassing our guests. Next up is Mr. Gary Alsa, internationally renowned Israeli psychic and a staple of such well-known talk shows such as The Mike Douglas Show and Tomorrow with Tom Snyder. He is director of International Integrative Institute of Intertextual Integers in Innsbruck, Indiana. It's all about I, isn't it, Mr. Alsa?
Very good. Boga tov and Lala tov and toda, and thank you, Dinah. I knew you were going to say that. As the most popular psychic in Israel, I know you're expecting me to bend spoons with my mind, but I've dedicated my life to the pursuit of transcognitive cognition. Therefore, the rest of my statement I will transmit psychically. Therefore, I think that speaks for itself. Back to you.
Yes, it does, Roger. Roger that. Okay, last but not the least is Miss Doctor Cornelius D. When did you become a doctor? Please tell us why the other psychics kept snickering whenever your name was mentioned before we started taping.
Yeah. We don't need to talk about that, honey, but that's fine. I am Cornelius D. Period. Everybody knows who I am, so I really don't need an introduction. And everybody knows really why we're here. You know, you can talk to the others, okay, but when you want the real truth, a real psychic, you're going to come to me. I'm waiting right here. Okay, honey? So that's it. Go talk to the others now.
I will remember that, Dr. D.
Of course.
Such wonderful insights from our enlightened guests. Jai Ho. And just to tell all of you receiving the enlightenment on air, we in this chat room are experiencing a sudden burst of energy. I'm beginning to feel very hot and cold at the same time. And an inner voice is telling me that all those watching will also receive these powerful vibes by induction, and only good things will happen to them. We'll be right back after this message. Stay tuned. Jai Ho.
Are you ready? I don't know. You can never tell whether these people are ready to go. I'm sitting here ready to do this commercial to help people, and I get no guidance. Nobody says anything. But ladies and gentlemen, I just want to let you know, we're ready for the next lockdown. It's coming. Some of you are already in it and you're suffering. I know you're suffering because I can hear your cries. It's not the cows mewing down the street. It's all the people who are suffering. So for the next lockdown, you need to go get this. This is from God. Okay, if I don't care, you're not religious, it doesn't really matter. But if you are religious, this is from God. So you got to take it. Okay, any God you want, by the way. This is Loza. It's from Serbia. It's just, that's it. Life is over once you start having this. Okay, but then maybe you need this too, because the lockdown could take a long, long time. It might be, could be resulting to cannibalism. That's how bad it's going to get out there. So do yourself a favor. Don't mess around. Go get it somehow. Order it. I don't know how you're going to get it, really. If you can't get it, you're going to die. That's all I got to say. I hope you don't die, but it's going to happen. Okay? Anyway, love you all. See you soon, hopefully. If not, in heaven.
And we're back. Let me tell you a secret, guys. Acupuncture is a hoax. It simply punctures your heart and makes it bereft of love. So be careful of this female called Aquini. She's just trying to be me. Poor man's yogini. What a joke. Professor Dupuy, many in our viewing audience have been wondering, do spirituality and physicality belong together? Or should individuals pursue them separately? What are your thoughts?
Miss Yogini, of course they're related and they go together. I mean, I don't understand what a silly question to ask. I mean, you're a yogini, you know this. Spirituality, physicality, you sense something, you do something.
Well spoken, Miss CCD. I was just asking for the benefit of our viewers. Of course, I know physicality is important. Okay, moving on. Ginger, this is for you. I saw you dancing before we went live. All that energy. Tell us, is dancing part of an inner wave of cosmic reality, or are we all just trying to read each other's minds?
Oh, really? I don't remember doing that. Was I dancing or was I channeling someone's great-grandmother in this very room who said someone didn't appreciate her in her last years? Oh, how she begged you to bring her music, and instead you brought her flowers to the hospital room and you left time and time again. Oh, all she wanted to do was dance with her mind. She's dancing now. I don't mean to trigger anyone, I just relay what's happening in my mind. But if I had been dancing, it might have been a temporary release from the pain of this curse I take on every waking moment of my life. My clients frequently ask me, Ginger, how do you live like this, reading the minds of every single person you encounter? I've learned to temper it, of course, and you can read all about it in my latest book, Why Must You Torture Me, Spirits? Found at all bookstores that are open right now and on books.com. It would make an excellent holiday gift if you want your friends and family to feel better about their lives by vicariously living through my miserable experience.
Oh, thank you, Gigi. How some of us must be tortured to save the other ones. Thank you so much for your sacrifices. Moving on, Mr. Gary Alsa, we've been patiently waiting to hear some of your interesting reflections and insights on the human mind. Why does everyone want to know what's in the future?
That's a very good question. As a psychic, I've committed myself to the exploration, the expansion, and the extrapolation of the human mind. People want to know the future because they're not happy with their present. So I encourage crystals. Now, I have my very own crystal right here. It's very expensive, therefore it's better than yours, and therefore more powerful, more psychic. Now, of course, governments of the world, they are intimidated by my psychic abilities, and therefore I often have to wear tinfoil on my head, like so, to block the alpha waves, and therefore I have to protect myself this way from the governments of the world. I don't know if this answers your question. I just know I'm that important of a person, and I knew you were going to say that.
No, on the contrary, I was going to say maybe you should be careful of the gamma rays along with the alpha rays. Okay, moving on. Finally, Dr. Cornelius D. Do you have any accomplishments in the field of psychoanalytics?
That's really a stupid question, don't you think, honey? Really, considering who I am, what I have done, everybody knows about me. Look, I've got a list here. We're going to tackle this list today. We're gonna hammer it out, and all of you other people, you're gonna be very appreciative. Remember, Cornelius D, I'm it. Everybody comes to me. So let's get started in the order of least importance first, because and we can get through this really quickly. It's all up to you guys. All right. So first of all, we need to help each other, and that's really why I'm here. I am Cornelius D. You've heard a lot about me already. And I know the others were talking about me previously. I know that. That doesn't matter. You know why? Because I'm actually flattered that they talk about me. I'm flattered that people talk about me. And I don't really care. Whatever they talk, if they're going to talk about me, fine. Let them talk about me. It doesn't really matter in the end, does it? So let's get started. First of all, I'd like to know why I didn't get a placard on my door in the dressing room. Everybody else got a placard with their name on it, but for some reason I was left out. Can you explain that?
There was a placard that was sent to you. If only you had gotten rid of your ridiculous sunglasses.
All right, thank you. So everybody else got one but me, but we don't need to discuss that. It doesn't matter. It's happened to me before. But even that weirdo with the weird hair over there and the thing on his head, he got one. So anyway, and he's a whack job. I just want to let everybody know he's not a real psychic. He's a freaking whack job.
This is not true. I know you're going to say that. I'm a real psychic. Take that back.
He is simply protecting the government's gamma rays from reaching his head so that he can retain his psychic abilities, Cornelius. Stop it. Enlightened guests, you do understand.
Remember, I saw Lady Godiva. She was walking through in the green room before the show. I don't know where you get these people that you allow into your studio, into wherever, but it's just not professional. So let's get back to what I was talking about, honey. Just a second here. So let me address my critics who don't think I'm a real sidekick. Okay, let's talk about that. I was the one person in the world, the only person in the world to be able to forecast where exactly Hurricane Francois would land. Nobody else in the entire world. I did that.
Did they do that? You are a buffoon who knows nothing.
Okay, sweetheart, leave your comments for the classroom there up in Quebec or wherever you're from, but nobody else. So the other, they can't even come close to me is what it amounts to, really. So, but moving on, I just want to make sure that because I was promised by the producers, this would be good publicity for me. My 1-800 number should show up at the bottom of the screen. I want to make sure, I want to confirm that, because if it's not, there will be legal issues. 1-800 Corny D period. And that's a capital C. And you got to put the period, because if you don't put the period, you're going to be with some guy in New Jersey who's selling ice cream or something to little kids. And that's really freaky. I don't do that. I might do
and now can we have a period on your monologue?
Thank you.
Enlightened guests, you do understand that money is the ultimate goal. I mean, the ultimate hole, the hole that we do not want to dig ourselves in. So please, let's focus on the healing of our soul by conversing more about life, its meaning, and its purpose. Who cares about money? Now, let's hear from our sponsors who continuously refuse to pay us. Jai Ho.
Have you ever been shot in the leg only to have the owner of the bullet claim you appropriated from him?
slipped on a hovercraft at the same time its ownership was being transferred, thus neglecting you the settlement that you deserve. Ever been in a bar fight soon after you had a new arm attached, an arm once belonging to someone who had just died, and they are holding you responsible for the accidental death committed by the possessed zombie arm? Are you involved in a legal predicament so strange, so macabre, so bizarre that no other lawyer will even let you into their office? Then call the legal offices of Betty Tagliani. I'll get you the settlement you deserve, no matter how outlandish, unbelievable, or even extraterrestrial it is.
I fell on a train crossing the border between two different countries. On top of that, the train company went bankrupt at the same time. But I got injured. Buddy Tagliani got me my settlement.
Hey, what are the odds a decommissioned dirigible would break away from its mooring only to find its way to the middle of international waters, right where I just happened to be, standing? I got $7,500. I lost a toe and a kneecap, but still, I got $7,500. So thanks, Buddy Tagliani.
As undeserving as this guy is, he called the law office of Buddy Tagliani and won. After legal fees, court filings, and unpredictable invented ancillary expenses, he really ended up with only about $47. But we won and proved them wrong. Call the law office of Buddy Tagliani. I'm prepared to believe you.
Oh, and we're back. Just like the cycle of life where we disappear and come back again. And sometimes we don't come back at all because we're bored. But today, with our exciting, enchanting, and enlightened guests, say bye-bye to boredom and hello to the greatest certified psychic in the world. Okay, so now, Ginger, you've got so much experience dealing with nervous women. What have you done to alleviate the stress of their lives with your clairvoyance?
Yes, nervousness ran in my family. My mother was a nervous Nelly. It started when I began speaking in tongues. I didn't know what was happening either, so it was a learning experience for both of us. And she used to sit in the dark in her room while I spoke to the dead. She called them episodes, and she would eat a whole pint of ice cream by herself, French vanilla. Among other things, observing her behavior over the years, I've learned a thing or two about nervousness. For example, should you be a nail biter, save your nail clippings for your compostable garden and spread them there. And if you're a hair yanker, you can save all of the strands for a wonderful weave once you've pulled them all out. It's a wig, but it's for you and it's your hair. And many people also delight in words of affirmation. Say to yourself, I admit that I am a nervous Nelly, even though I am so insignificant that nothing I do in my life could ever affect the world in a serious way. Affirmations are mini prayers for yourself. They won't get rid of your nervous disorder, but they might give you a new disorder to focus on. I think prayer is a wonderful delusion to help satiate the fragile mind from realism in the world. Unfortunately, they do nothing for me.
Marvelous. Very environmentally friendly our Gigi is. Now, Mr. Ulcer, is there really a secret universe out there, like controlling our minds?
It's a very good question. Through hours and hours of painstaking research and napping, I've discovered that through my psychic abilities, there is a universal thread, a cosmic through line, a celestial system, if you will. I write about it in my latest book, Psychics. No, I do not know tomorrow's lottery numbers. But in that book, I discuss a paradigm shift in the psychic fluidic fractals that are common in everyday practices with psychics. So in answer to your question, yes.
Wow, such groundbreaking revelations there, Mr. Ulcer. Thank you so much. Now, the very sweet Professor Dupuy, can you tell us what is the difference between psychic and a psycho? And should we be worried?
Yes, I think we should be worried. I am a psychic. I have the power. I have learned this for generations. You are a psycho. You're a psycho. You're a buffoon, Cornelius. You're a psycho. You're a psycho. You're talking mumbo jumbo. It's craziness. All I need to do is read your tea leaves and I can know everything about you. I can predict what will happen in your life.
No, Miss CCD, this was just merely a typo. I'm not a psycho. I'm a certified psychic. Never mind. Moving on. Dr. Cornelius, if that's your real name, can you possibly read what's on my mind right now?
Yeah, look, we don't need to discuss that, honey. It is my real name, of course. You don't need to try and belittle me. Hey, since I was a kid, this is what was going on, but we're not going to talk about that either. So please, everybody sit back. You're going to learn something. First of all, what I want to address is, why am I always last? Why am I always chosen last? You got the other eggheads and they get to go and say whatever they want. They're 1, 2, and 3. What am I, Ringo? I got to go last? Come on. This is ridiculous in a professional setting. We're not going to talk about the placard anymore that was not on my door. For probably some fan stole it. I know, because they're like ready to rip my clothes off when I go in public. And it's not really the beautiful women like these ladies here. It's, the plump ones. I mean, really plump. Not that I got a problem with that. There's nothing wrong with plump women, okay? But enough is enough. I can only handle so much. I can't eat apple pie every day. You know what I'm talking about? So yeah, I'm last. I can deal with that. I have a few friends I'd like to say hello to because, I never get to see them and they're really important people and I am who I am. So I'd like to thank Ernie at Fast Dog's Hot Dog Stand in Erie, Pennsylvania. Heck of a great guy. I'd like to thank the big man, Joey G at Carl's Jr. He's the head chef there, by the way. And this is in Seymour, Indiana. Great guy, also great food. I also want to thank Linda at the Cross-Eyed Diner in Modesto, California. They've got the best boysenberry pie on the planet, hands down. We don't need to argue with it.
Why is it thanking everybody?
I'll get to that in a second, honey. I'd like to thank Frank at Frank's Barbershop in Toledo, personal friend. I want to thank my aunt Roberta in Greene, Ohio. Go Bulldogs. And Mom, please try to stay out of the liquor cabinet for one night. That's all I'm asking. It's not too much to ask, is it? For one night.
I'm sorry, Yogini, he's not answering your question. And why
is he thanking everybody? Did he win an award? Oh my God.
I don't have to be psychic. He's not answering your question.
We know that I'm a psychic. We know, ladies, and I want to call you gentlemen. I don't know what you are, but we all know who the real psychic in the room is tonight here.
As we near the end of our show today, we'd like to tell you that we've made a breakthrough tonight. All the psychics have contributed to creating this new chant which will change your life forever. Repeat after me. Shanti, bring, ing, ming, ching, bring, shing, ting. Not so fast. To get the complete secret chant, all you need to do is subscribe to this channel and the chant will be hand delivered to you at your home. Yes, we do know where you live. Mr. Alsa, one quick final statement from you, please.
Wait, you cut me off here, baby.
But I just want to remind you that, hey,
just let him speak.
I want to remind you that you have to increase psychic powers. You have to have a good crystal. I have a very good crystal. Mine's bigger and better than everyone else's. Therefore, that makes me a real psychic. I don't know who the charlatan is with the hat and the glasses. I don't know, but that is all I have to say. And finally, for my final summation.
Beautiful crystal. Don't drop it.
I believe that says it all.
Professor Dupuy, final statement.
Yes, I would like to offer your viewers, the first 10 callers, a free tea leaf reading. And for the first 10 callers, after that, I charge $100 for each reading.
Wow.
Peanuts.
Oh, that went really high, very fast. Gigi, something from you, please.
Yes, if you are a human or a dog or a tortured soul or as happy as the Buddha himself, do yourself a favor and buy yourself a gift this Christmas with my new book, Why Must You Torture Me, Spirits? And I will also offer the first 2 for free with an email subscription, of course.
Yes, everybody will buy. Why must you torture me with a triple E? And yes, now, last but not the least, Dr. Cornelius.
Thank you. As I was rudely cut off before, I had a few things to say. I do have something to say addressing psychic. As a psychic, I can tell you anything you want to know. Anything. You want to know where Jimmy Hoffa is buried? I can tell you that. If you want to know what happened to Amelia Earhart, I know that too. Okay. If you like to, just hang on. I have them written down. I don't want to forget. This is important. If you want to know why Johnny B. Good was named Johnny B. Good, I know. Get this. I know what the special sauce is in the Big Mac. Nobody else in the world knows that, just me, because I'm a psychic. I know these things. So you can, talk about me, everybody, cut me off being rude, but I've got a lot to say. And a lot of people want to focus on my scrapes with the law, my lack of paying child support payments on time, stuff like that. Nobody talks about my philanthropies, what I do to children and old ladies. So
you're not even a psychic. You're not part of the organization. You don't show up at the meetings. You're not psychic.
Absolutely. And you know what the biggest proof is? The biggest proof that you're not a psychic is the fact that you are questioning why you went last when you know it's all alphabetical order. In the psychic language, C comes at the end.
A true psychic would know that. You're not a psychic.
Would know that.
Just get my number there. 1-800-CORNY-D, period. Make sure it's there.
Period for you. I'd like to thank these very esteemed psychics who agreed to power through this with this piercing gaze and potent chants. 2020 will go down in history as the year of the pandemic. Are we in a pandemic really, or is it like the global warming conspiracy theory? But anyway, had they listened to our psychics, such calamity would have never hit us. So trust in Yogini, trust in her mantra, trust her goat yoga, and trust her beautiful psychic friends to lead, guide, and heal you. Remember, goats save lives. Good night.
You're not going to steal my brainwaves. These are my brainwaves. You cannot have them.
I'm telling you, these people are idiots here. I don't know why you even had them. All you needed was me.
My brainwaves.
You never came to class. You're not going to.
You are free.
1-800-555-2929.
I'm hearing from somebody's uncle now. Who? Does anyone recognize
That was my grandmother before that you got. That was my grandmother.
I'm just so glad to know that I'm not pregnant. I was so worried.
Insane asylum.
Oh, very.
I don't understand.
A little bit more mush than what it is now.
I think CCD was able to read that Cornelius is actually cheating on his wife.
What?
Yes, that's what CCD said.
Don't make it that. I'm going to do it.
He is a very good psychic. He can tell. Like he told that I'm not pregnant. I'm cheating on your wife.
Again, I do it again. For you, I do it again.
Refuse to